Hi everyone, I know that I've been missing for, what is it, like 6 months now, and that is because I was working a lot, and then I quit my job over the summer, visited my entire family, pretty much said goodbye to them, and went back home, packed up my stuff, and then I moved to Pennsylvania for school. And then as soon as I got to Pennsylvania, I was packing for about a week, and I gave myself a week off just to relax, and then I started school. So when semester number one is almost over, I have finals next week, and it's 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 very strange because it feels like it flew by, but it also didn't, and I don't know how to explain that. So I was taking 5 courses. Only one of them was anesthesia related. It was a chemistry and physics related to anesthesia practice, and then the other four were advanced pharmacology, um, advanced assessment, and then it was a research class, and then a policy and politics one. So personally, I found the anesthesia course to be the most challenging one, just because the content could be a little bit too complex and require more time out of me to fully get it. Um, Very interesting though, and definitely my favorite class out of all five. And then pharmacology was the second down the list just because it wasn't that the content was very difficult, it was the sheer volume of material that I was required to just memorize and retain. So let me give you an example. So say that I was learning antibiotics one week. I needed to know side effects, I needed to know contraindications, I needed to know what populations needed to get what, and if you were pregnant, alternatives of medicine to give you, and just stuff like that. And I need to know like half-lives, mechanism of action, and the first line of drugs that I would use for certain conditions. And it was just too much to just watch the lectures and hope for the best. So I had tests for these two classes every 3 weeks, and I gotta say those two classes alone probably took up about 70 to 80% of my time for the past 5 months. And just because I needed to review everything that I had learned for the past 3 weeks for the test, and then do it all over again for the next wave of tests. It was like a rinse and repeat. And there's one thing that I want to share that is very important is to always stay organized. It's very scary and very easy to lose control of when something's due, or just you want to stay ahead of the game. And by that, I was always ahead of the game by a week. So I was usually doing the work that was due the following week. So when the tests were coming that week, I didn't have to do the work anymore. It was already done. And then the days prior to the test, for me, it was all review. Or another thing is, you never know what's going to happen. What if you have an emergency? Or you name it, you don't know. And for me, for that reason, I was always trying to stay ahead of whatever something was due. So I would dedicate a whole day for one class, and then the next day it was another class. And then if I knew that next week was very heavy, then maybe I would spend 2 days for that class. But I would get it all done and make sure that in my planner I would check it off and make sure that everything for chemistry and physics has been done good. By the time Sunday comes, I'm all set, and then I can move on to the next week's content. Um, and then I want to say that comprehensive assessment, research, and um, policy and politics were a little bit easier, but again, I need to make sure that I made time for the assignments that I needed to complete. For assignment, for example, I was required to attend virtual conferences or classes at a specific time via Zoom, and that all counted towards my grade. So that whole day, since I was already going to be doing that, that day was an assessment day. So prior to that, I was doing some stuff related to assessment. So by the time I was part of the video, I once the video was over, my day was over, so I was usually starting my work around 8 or 9 a.m. and then I would try to stop by like 6 p.m. And I mean, one benefit of being virtual is that you don't have to drive anywhere. You know, you can stop anytime you want, make a cup of coffee, and maybe have a snack, and then come back. But it's also very easy to be distracted, um, just because you're at home. So you may be distracted by noises. You may be distracted by the TV, by your phone, and you just need to make sure that you're very disciplined and don't let that take too much of your time, because you're gonna end up taking way too long to finish something that may maybe take you 5 hours. The the second thing that I wanted to share with you is that the the tests that I was taking were usually around, for chemistry and physics, it was 80% of my grade. And the tests are timed, and some of them were proctored. So you just can't expect to have your books available to you because they're being watched by somebody. And then I want to explain to you something that I found to be a very important learning lesson for me. And so passing is 83 in my program. And on the second pharmacology test, I got less than the 83. It was devastating because I had spent so much time reviewing, and I even made flashcards. I was studying up until like 9 p.m. the night before, and then I ended up getting a grade that wasn't reflective of the amount of effort that I put into it. And that taught me something. When you get grades like those, you will go through some crazy emotions. But in my case, I have sacrificed quite a bit here. And for me to just get a bad grade, it's just not, it cannot happen. At least not often. So I found that the most difficult thing out of all that wasn't the grade itself. It was getting back up and just analyzing why that happened. Because it's not just about how much time you put into the study time, it's the quality of it. And you need to make sure that you understand that how you study for one class may not necessarily work for another. And I found out very quickly when this happened to me. And as long as you realize that whatever was working for you in undergrad doesn't work on a class in grad school, the sooner you realize that, the better off you're going to be. Don't wait until you get a bad grade. And luckily, I was able to modify my studying, and I got a really good grade on the following test. But that was very scary for me. And there you have it. So finals are next week, and then I get 2 weeks off. And then I have to take 5 courses again. So this time around, it's going to be 3 anesthesia courses, and then the other one is going to be a pathophysiology class, and then I don't remember the other one, but those 2 are virtual. The anesthesia courses are going to be in person, hopefully, and I'm excited, but I'm also nervous just because I I mean, I'm going to be faced with something that I have never seen before. And I guess when, like I said in a previous video, I think is when I'm nervous, is when I'm challenged, is when I learn the most. So yeah, that's going to be happening in the coming weeks. And if I can make a video, I'll make it. But if not, I'll do it during spring break. But if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you found this video helpful.